Hello, this is Unit 6D of Boot Camp, Multiplying and Dividing Decimals. We're going to be taking our decimals that we've been working with, and we've done addition and subtraction. Now let's do the other two, multiplying and dividing. When we multiply decimals, a big thing that we're going to look at here is treating it like a regular number and then correcting it at the end. If we want 5.26 times 3, we're just going to multiply like normal. 3 times 6 is 18, carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and 5 times 3 is 15. Now, we need to correct and actually account for these decimals. Clearly, 5.26 times 3 is not going to be in the thousands. I would sure hope not. To counterbalance this, we're going to count how many numbers after the decimal place are in each of our numbers and add that up. The first number has 0.26, or 2 numbers after the decimal point. The 3 doesn't have any, or 0. In total, we have 2 digits after the decimal place when we take both of them into account. If we add that up, 2 plus 0 is 2. And so the number that we end up with better have 2 decimal points at the end. This will give us, if we count from the right going toward the left, if we move the decimal point over 2, we will get 15.78, which seems a bit more reasonable. 5 times 3 is 15, so hopefully our answer would be in that same ballpark. Dividing decimals has the same kind of procedure. Treat it as if it's normal, and then we'll kind of account for it as we go. Now, when you have division, the number on the right goes on the outside of our division sign. The number on the left goes inside our division sign. So in this case, the 2.211 will go on the inside, and the 1.1 will go on the outside. To counterbalance division with decimals, we need the number on the outside to be an integer. To do that, I'm going to move the decimal point over 1. Now, as a common theme in math, whatever you do to the outside, you have to do the inside. So I'm going to move the decimal point on the inside over 1 to 2.11. We then are going to divide like normal. The decimal point in our answer will be straight up from where it is now. So if we move it straight up, it'll be right before the 0.11, as we'll see in just a second. This is not an indication of how many decimal points you may have, but it is a rough estimate about where to start. We then divide like normal. 11 goes into 22 2 times. Subtracting that, we have 0, bring down the 1. 11 does not go into 1, so we put the 0 up. Notice how we've traveled over the decimal point, pretend like it's just not there. Bring down the 1, and 1.1 goes into 11, or I should say 11 goes into 11 once, 2.01. In this case, the number ends up being nice. However, if we had one that was not nice, what we can do is we can just add zeros on the end of this and continue onwards. Adding trailing zeros will not affect the value of the number, but it will help us keep dividing. So if we need to, we can keep adding more zeros on the end and keep dividing. So now we kind of have a way to go between decimals and fractions, because if we divide, we can just keep going and adding zeros onto our division until we end up with no remainder, and we'll have a decimal. What you see here in front of you are the most common fraction to decimal conversions. For example, 3/8 is 0.375. For example, 5/8 is 0.625. And that is multiplying and dividing decimals.